taste the feeling.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people, too.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to hour one of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bud Show here on the Pelican. Here's hoping that all is well with you and yours. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend a little time with you and your homes all across the Bayou State, the great state of Louisiana, if you will. If not, well, know that we're all pulling for you, and this too, my friends, shall pass. You know, as we work our way through this new reality that we're dealing with, it's led me to wonder, and listen, for the record, I'm no prima donna. I've been doing this long enough and been a student of people long enough to know that we have always had idiots among us. Of all the different political ideologies out there, of all the different social ideologies out there, of all the different ways of looking at whatever it is in life that you want to look at, one thing I think we can all agree on, whether we are conservative or liberal, Democrat, Republican, black, white, green, purple, whatever, we can all agree that we have idiots among us. What is particularly telling and troublesome at the same time is how in recent memory, particularly with the social upheaval and unrest in our country, particularly with the advent of COVID-19 in this country, the idiots among us are now more willing than ever to willingly show us just how stupid they are. And what may be, for me, one of, if not the most troubling aspect of all of this is that many of the idiots among us inhabit the halls of academia. Traditionally, we have been of the opinion that higher education is reserved for the best and brightest among us and is best used when focusing on those who wish to be the best that they can be. Recently, however, particularly as it pertains to social issues, we have seen more and more of the idiots among us feeling free to espouse their stupid beliefs to anyone who'll listen. Sadly, we have become a nation of sheeple, and the number of us that willingly fall in line, you like that one, Marty? Thought you would. Yeah. The number of people that buy into this is scary. There was a time in this country where people would be laughed out of existence if they felt free enough to espouse some of the stuff, the garbage that they are throwing out there at us these days. Primarily because, one, they knew it was garbage. Two, they knew we knew it was garbage. And three, they wouldn't hesitate, we would not hesitate to call them on it. You've heard me say on more than one occasion that I oftentimes, and this is no sweeping indictment of all people that reside there, but they certainly have more than their fair share. You've often heard me refer to California as the granola state. If you take out the fruits and the nuts, all you got left are the flakes. You've heard that before. Well, another case in point. San Francisco State University Assistant Professor of Management, Veronica Caridad Rabello, or Rabello. I'm assuming it's Rabello because there's only one L. The American dream is often described as striving to become successful through hard work, sacrifice, dedication, using the best of your resources that are available to you. That's typically how we all describe the, quote, American dream. This professor, assistant professor of management at San Francisco State University, Veronica Rabello, was recently asked during a virtual panel discussion on anti-racism about what behaviors, what patterns can perpetuate instead of countering anti-black racism. Part of her response argued that the, quote, model minority myth obscures the realities of racism. Listen at this. Model minority mythology reinforces other damaging ideologies that are predominant in our society, such as the American dream, that success is attainable through effort and following the rules, regardless of one's identity or experiences. However, she adds, we know that our society is not actually a meritocracy, meaning meritocracy, you get ahead based on your, quote, merits. We know that our society is not actually a meritocracy. White supremacy and inequality are cemented into the foundations of all our major institutions of policy. So the American dream, according to this person, is a damaging ideology to black people. I have to wonder, does she really know how stupid what she said is? Does she realize how many people of color in this country, in striving to reach their version of the American dream, have worked hard, have sacrificed, have played by the rules, and have gotten ahead? Do you realize how insulting what you say to them is? Here in Baton Rouge, North Baton Rouge particularly, and South Baton Rouge for that matter, there are any number of historically black communities. In these communities, Southern Heights, Park Vista, Concord Estates, Price Place, all these different communities, doctors, attorneys, lawyers, surgeons, politicians, judges, all of them have come out of these communities. Are you telling me that their success is a myth? Are you telling me that their success means that they are damaged goods? Because after all, the American dream is a damaging ideology to black people. I don't know what her, quote, motive behind saying something this stupid is. I would like to think that, hopefully, it's because she doesn't have the experience that other black people have had of applying themselves, of working hard, of sacrificing, and getting ahead. Maybe she doesn't realize that it does work. Then again, on the other hand, maybe she doesn't want black people to think that it works. Maybe she wants people to think the system is so rigged against you that you need the state, the government, to tell you what's good for you, where you can work, how much you can make, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's scary, the nonsense that people feel so very free these days to spout. Sadder still, there are people out there that will buy into this. You've heard me say before, some people would rather have a grievance than a job. To have a grievance, like this assistant professor, to have a grievance, all you got to do is sit on your butt and do this, point the finger of blame. Well, you're the reason I'm where I am, or you're the reason I'm having this problem, or that issue there is the reason why things are they are. Some would rather have a grievance than a job. To have a job, you got to get off your you-know-what and go to work and make things happen. When we come back after this first commercial break, I want to share a story with you. And after thinking about it, I think maybe I will send this story to this professor just to see what her response will be. You talk about inspirational? Stick around. You got to hear this story. Let me get the first break of hour one out of the way, and we'll talk more right where you've got it on the midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close. I
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
That's right, the Clarence Bug Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Yeah, that one. Welcome back to one of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you weren't with us at the start of the show, I shared with you this article of the college professor in San Francisco saying that the American dream is a damaging ideology to black people, believing that if you work hard, play by the rules, you sacrifice, that you will at some point get ahead. According to this professor, this is a, quote, damaging ideology for black folks. Let me share with you a story, and it is amazing how those of us that are people of faith, how the Holy Spirit puts certain things in your path at certain times. Shortly after reading that article and saying to myself, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read in life. Of course, now the day is still young, and with everything going on in our world these days, the odds are by the end of the day, somebody out there will say something even stupider than this. Just give it time. But right after reading that article, I run across this article, and kudos, by the way. Tip of the hat to WBRZ, the ABC affiliate here in Baton Rouge. Trey Couvion, awesome job, Trey. Don't know him, don't know if I've ever seen him as a reporter, but that's beside the point. Tip of the hat to Trey Couvion. This story is entitled, Former Baton Rouge General Hospital Security Guard Returns to hospital for medical school. Let me share this article with you. He was once a hospital security guard in Baton Rouge, and now he's walking down the same hallways in a white coat. 34-year-old Russell L.D.W.F is from Lake Charles. He joined the Navy, serving his country, my God, before coming to Southern University for his undergrad in chemistry and biology. That's when he got a job as a security guard at Baton Rouge General Hospital, not knowing he would end up back there as a medical student 7 years later. Quote, "My wife and I had a newborn coming, and I was an undergrad. But I was also in the reserves, but the reserves don't pay that much, and so I needed a job." End of quote. That job, patrolling the hallways and keeping an eye on doctors, patients, and their visitors, eventually led to a curiosity of what was happening behind those doors, which turned into a passion. Quote, "I had an idea that I wanted to be a physician, although I knew it was really a long shot. Once I got to college and started to get some mentors, I had some people that started depositing in me positive energy and information to help me understand I was capable of becoming a physician. But I still thought it was a long shot." The head of security at the hospital and L.D.W.F's former boss, Kevin Greenhouse, knew he had the dedication when he first started working. Greenhouse would catch L.D.W.F studying chemistry note cards during his shift. Quote, "Well, there were a few occasions which Russell had to be reminded that he had to be focused on the duty at hand. But we understood what he was trying to pursue, but we also had to keep him focused." L.D.W.F would shadow under 2 doctors at Baton Rouge General before graduating from Southern. He then left for New York to get his Ph.D. from NYU. Now, L.D.W.F is back in Louisiana, attending Tulane University for his MD and MBA, and coming full circle in his journey. He's now back at the same hospital where he used to be a security guard. Quote, "The idea of coming back, not only to Louisiana, not only to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but to come back to Baton Rouge General and be able to take care of patients here. Right now, I'm on the pediatrics rotation, but before this, I was on surgery. To walk into the OR and have a scrub tech ask me, 'What's your glove size?' It was just eye-opening, but also humbling." You can read the rest of the story on WAFB's website. This young man is expecting to finish his MD and his MBA in about a year. After that, he says he'll likely enroll in a triple residency for pediatrics, general psychiatry, and child and adolescent psychiatry. He's also the founder of an organization called the 15 White Coats, which helps to inspire children to follow their own dreams. Thank God that this young man, 34-year-old Russell L.D.W.F, didn't buy into the idiocy, the lunacy, the flat-out stupidity that the American dream is a damaging ideology for black people. Every now and then, if you look, when people tell you certain things, instead of taking it at face value, try looking at the other side. Well, we've got things that are so steeped in racism in all the institutions in this country for black people to believe in the American dream, that's damaging to their psyche. Jane. Marty's laughing because he knows what I mean when I say Jane. Y'all remember the Saturday Night Live skit back in the day when it was the real Saturday Night Live? Who was it? Jane Curtin and was it Chevy? Chase Marty was also on the desk, the weekend anchor. The weekend report is what they used to call it. And there were two newscasters. And they would sit there talking about, I don't think it was Aykroyd. I don't think it was Aykroyd. May have been, but I don't think so. At any rate, two anchors, one male, one female, sitting at the desk. And after delivering the last news story, the male anchor would turn to Jane Curtin, and she would have an opinion piece on whatever the topic happened to be that week. And she would give this idiotic opinion, and, you know, he'd sit there and listen and nod his head and whatnot. And at the end of her piece every week, the male anchor would look at her and say, "Jane, you ignorant S expletive deleted. Jane, you ignorant," fill in the blank. That is immediately what came to mind when I read this piece. It was Dan Aykroyd? Okay, the guys in the truck did the research for me, the crack research team in the truck. Thank God, 34-year-old Russell Ledette didn't listen to the stupidity that if you're black and you believe in the American dream, well, you're damaging your psyche because racism is so embedded in our society, you can't achieve things by your own merits. What would truly be interesting is had this not been a collective bunch of academians, if someone were to ask, okay, well, what's the solution then? See, here's what bothers me about this. Let's just say, for the sake of the conversation, this idiot is right. How in God's name can you justify not wanting people to have a strong work ethic? How do you justify not wanting people to pull their own weight? How do you justify not wanting people to take care of the children they bring into this world? How do you justify not wanting people to take advantage of all the opportunities that are available to them? At the end of the day, let's understand something here. Only a few individuals in life, in whatever your chosen field of endeavor happens to be, only a few will attain a certain level of fame. And for the record, fame ain't all it's cracked up to be. But that's a different show for a different day. Only a certain percentage of people that work hard, sacrifice, play by the rules, only a small percentage will ever achieve enormous notoriety. But at the end of the day, if you don't achieve notoriety, at the very least, in attempting to secure your version of the American dream, you will have become a better person. I'll say that again. Even if you don't achieve the notoriety, you will at the very least become a better person. A person with a great work ethic becomes a better person. A person that cares about his or her community becomes a better person. A person that understands that baby you made didn't ask to be here, you brought that person here. And it's your responsibility to do everything within your power to give them the best start in life that they can get. You become a better person. And in case we didn't know, and obviously this assistant professor doesn't know, better people make better communities. Better communities make better cities. Better cities make better states. And better states make a better nation. Why in God's name anyone would not want any group of people, much less one individual, to believe in the American dream tells me pretty much all I need to know about that person. Just saying. Mark, I need a favor, my friend. I'm up against the clock. Let me bang this break out. I've got you on the radar. By the way, I've neglected to mention all morning, I'd love to hear your thoughts. 225-831-1039. If you got some thoughts on it, I'd love to hear them. Bottom of the hour break, we'll bang this out. We'll come back and talk more with you on the midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show right here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masks help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people.
You can know the right people too.
Welcome back to hour one of our midweek edition of the Clarence Spud Show. Mark has patiently been holding on line one, so we go to the phone. Mark, how are you today, my friend?
How you doing, sir?
It's a great day to be an American, big fella. How are you?
We're still getting older by the day.
Yeah, that's a blessing, Mark. That's a blessing.
Yep.
When you think about how many started out with us that are no longer here, I'll take it. It beats the alternative, doesn't it?
I read the paper every day and see people a lot younger than me that I know's gone.
Amen. Amen. So,
got a suggestion for you on your story.
Sure.
Along with sending that letter that the newsman did to that lady, why don't you also point out to her, along with your biography as being one of the top broadcasters in the nation in your field of work, point out also Dr. Carson, who is a pediatric brain surgeon on the staff of President Trump. Yep. And then turn around and tell them a black man was made president not once but twice of this country.
Why do you think, Mark, she would say something like that?
Clarence, I'm 75 years old.
Okay.
I am sick of that flying racist card being played at every corner of the universe.
Yep.
I'm sick of hearing it.
Yep. You and I both.
And the only one person's going to be able to change that, and that's the big guy upstairs.
Mark, obviously, the big guy upstairs has within his power to change anything and everything.
Correct.
But it's discouraging to me that we've reached a point in this country, Mark, where we so willingly buy into the foolishness that people spout these days. Why is that? Are we just lazy? Do we want to look for something to blame for our problems? Why do we do that, Mark?
We have become, I'm not talking about your generation or mine, but we have become a society that expects government to do everything for us instead of us doing everything that we can to make ourselves better in a free society.
We're entitled, in other words.
It goes back to what President Kennedy said. Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
Amen. Well stated, my friend. Mark, thank you, sir. Mark, that sentiment is from a bygone era. If I could draw a contrast between that era and where we are today. Back then, the sentiment was, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do. Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Today, it's what I oftentimes refer to as the Janet Jackson syndrome. What have you done for me lately? What hurts maybe more than the fact that we have adopted that philosophy as a way of life, Mark, is that not only have we adopted it, but we think it's fair. We think it's right. We think that's the way it should be. When all you have to do is open up a history book. Of course, people don't read books anymore, but you understand the sentiment. All you have to do is do a Google search on how countries are faring today that espouse the political and social philosophy that the, quote, social justice people of today are trying to get us to follow. Do a quick Google search on conditions in Venezuela. Do a quick Google search on any socialist country, any communist country, and see how they're doing. And if you've got 2 functioning brain cells, you immediately realize, nope, don't want to go down that road. Of course, now, I did say you have to have 2 functioning brain cells to care enough to do a Google search, didn't have the reading comprehension to understand what the article is saying, and then come to the conclusion that our country was founded on a completely different set of ideals, and maybe, just maybe, the reason we are as exceptional as we are is because we bought into and practiced that ideology. If you don't think for 1 second that this is a different day, you are sadly, sorely mistaken. Quick note. Coming up in our last segment, we are going to spend a little time with Roman Banks, the AD at Southern, talking about expectations for the SWAC in the upcoming football season. But every now and then, and it never fails, which is why I have learned much earlier in life to follow my gut. And hopefully, in disseminating information in the followance of said gut, it can help us be better as a society, particularly here in the state that I love so dearly, but also hopefully help avert tragedies. If you were with us on Monday, you know that I related the story to you out of Montevallo, Alabama, where a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old managed to go outside playing, gained access to their parents' car, inadvertently locked themselves in the car, couldn't figure out how to get out, and these 2 darling brothers, one a 3-year-old, the other a 1-year-old, both succumbed to the heat. Well, Monday evening, and it's spooky how these things occur. Monday evening in Edmond, Oklahoma, a 3-year-old girl found unconscious in a hot car and died. First responders say they received a frantic, as you might imagine, 911 call about a child inside a hot car. According to officials there, the 3-year-old was left inside the hot car for anywhere between 4 to 6 hours. Police say the child's father simply forgot the girl was inside the vehicle. Now listen. I know what you're saying. How did this guy, quote, forget his 3-year-old was in the car? You know I'm a man of faith. And if I were to put some scripture to it, it would be judge not lest ye be judged. I don't know what the situation was in that household with the upheaval in everybody's way of life, their daily schedule because of COVID-19, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know what was going on in that father's head. What I do know is that father will have a burden for the rest of his life over what happened to his 3-year-old daughter. I understand full well that these are trying times. I understand full well that in a matter of days, weeks, months, people have had their entire lives, their entire way of living turned totally upside down. So much so to the point where you forget you've got your 3-year-old for 6 hours. Whatever it takes, y'all, sign in the window, Put your phone in the back seat, because we all know we don't go anywhere without our phones. Whatever it takes. Because these days, as crazy as they are, things happen. And I would not wish this on anyone, what that father is going to be dealing with for the rest of his life. Montevallo, Alabama, Edmond, Oklahoma, Louisiana is right in the middle. Let's hope it doesn't happen here. Word to the wise, just saying. Let me get this final break, other than top of the hour break, of this hour out of the way, and we'll talk more with you on our Wednesday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Exiles from what you ask? Exiled from the radio. But now, we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to our, this one over there, yeah, right, that one. To hour one of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Recently, the Southwestern Athletic Conference releasing the schedule for, boy, I almost slipped and said fall football 2020, but instead it will be spring football 2021. Joining us to talk more about this is the athletic director at Southern University, our friend Roman Banks. AD, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well. How you doing today?
I'm doing well as well. Thank you for asking. So how did the conference determine this 6-game schedule, Roman?
Well, obviously, they had the format where we will play, you'll play your divisional games and you'll play 2 non-conference games. Mm-hmm. And so from that point, it was just about, getting the luck of the draw, what you got as they put the schedule together and trying to make it make sense for traveling purposes as well. And so, it wasn't too much strategizing to this schedule. And, we use a scheduling coordinator that helped us conference through all our scheduling, and this was printed out.
Southern right now, according to this schedule, only has 2 home games right now out of this 6-game schedule. Any possibility we might be able to add to that?
Well, let me break that down for you. You know, we really have 3 home games. The Bayou Classic is our home game, and so the conference don't control that being on a neutral site. So when they roll out the schedule, we did get 3 home games. It's just that game is going to be on neutral site, which is a balancing act what they were trying to do. And so in reality, 2 of those games will be on site. And so that's the difference. But we did get 3 home games. And so I'm not for sure right now we will have another home game and we'll go try to do something at a neutral site because each campus, you know, is kind of, if they can, want to play another home game or not play at all. So you just have to get the luck of the draw and dealing with an outside game right now.
Do we have any idea what sort of time frame we're looking at before we know what the seating will look like, what tailgating will or will not be allowed, or is that still fluid as we work our way through COVID-19?
Obviously, that's going to be fluid, I believe, until we get a vaccine and get some type of medicine to help decide the painful reaction to this virus. And so, just like now, everyday things are changing, and right now you can only have a percentage of people in your stadium. I still personally think that's going to happen for a period of time, and so we won't know until we cross that bridge during that time what the governor put out as it relates to our status in the state of Louisiana, and then we'll follow those recommendations from the state level all the way to the CDC.
What about the championship game for football? Will there be one this year, Roman?
Yes, it's scheduled. So the championship game will be on the best record. Whatever university team has the best record, they will host that game during the last game of the season, and so that will take place. It'll be Eastern and Western championship game. And so just to make sure that we follow what we've been doing the last couple of years, is that it'll be on the higher seat campus.
So this game, the championship game, whenever it's being played, that's going to be the, for lack of a better phrase, the crowning jewel of the season, because obviously with the MEAC, in the situation they're in, there will be no Celebration Bowl, or will there?
There would not be a Celebration Bowl. We hope to bring the Celebration Bowl back when we restart the 21 season in the fall, but there would not be a Celebration Bowl, would not be any MEAC SWAC challenge, right now going forward. And so we are hoping, realistically, when we get back to the fall of 21, that we'll be ready to go as normal. But what you're going to have here, and it's probably a conversation for later on, because we're waiting on the NCAA to put out some permissible regulations as it relates to spring football about when you can practice, when you can't practice, and what you can and what you can't do. That should be going out by the end of this month, and we'll be able to put some regulations to that and start getting ourselves prepared. But what you're going to have is kids opting out, and you're going to have some of the coaches looking at their kids and saying, well, we're not going to waste you on a short season. We're going to put a red shirt year on you. You also, at this point, can play 4 games before your red shirt. If that don't change, and which I think it'll probably change to half of that, but if that don't change, you'll play a guy in his maximum game and then red shirt and make sure he's getting a good feel. So this COVID year is going to be a little different. I don't think that everybody's going to showcase their best teams. Their best personnel on those teams for a long period of time.
Yeah. Obviously, and you know this better than most, when it comes to football in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, you are talking about some of the most rabid football fans anywhere. We love our SWAC football. We love our SWAC institutions. That being said, you have been, and the conference has been, very transparent, very upfront ever since day one. Has that made it easier based on the feedback that you've gotten from fans? Have they accepted what's going on now more readily because you have been so transparent and upfront in your approach to all of this?
Yeah, you're exactly right. Because of our transparency, we've been open book and be able to warn people ahead of time what's going on, and that things, though we're making decisions, things can change tomorrow.
Right.
And I also think that people can justify their feelings with all feelings, because every day in their life things are changing because of this COVID virus. And so I think that because we have been transparent, and I think because of the experiences that everyone else is experiencing in their own personal life,
right,
know that under circumstances changing, things are changing every day, and this has made this a much easier process.
Well, Roman, I know you've got another commitment in just a matter of minutes. Thank you so much, my friend, for the time, and do me a big favor and stay safe, Roman Banks.
I do the best I can, and you do it also, my friend. Go Jags.
Go Jags. Consider it done. Thank you, Roman Banks, Athletic Director at Southern University. It's it is going to be so weird in just a matter of weeks. Not anticipating, because you all know my story. As a former member of the Southern University Marching Band, a.k.a. the Human Jukebox, when we approach a certain point in August, I'm driving up on campus to go and watch band practice, because I get a heads up on what the band's going to look like, what they're going to be doing for their opening performance, what they sound like, so on and so forth. And my God, I can't count the number of years that I've been doing that. And I've had to resign myself now to the fact that this year, English teachers, forgive me, in 3, 2, 1, that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen. But such is the reality of what we are dealing with these days. And you know, aside from looking forward to saying goodbye to the ungodly triple-digit heat indices, aside from that, the one thing that kind of keeps the old boy going through all of that is the fact that won't be long and I'll be able to go in the stadium and I can hit a jukebox and kick back with some good people and as we are fond of saying in South Louisiana, pass a good time. But it's different this year. It is what it is. And the sooner we all embrace that and deal with that, the better off we're going to be. And again, for their part, the Southwestern Athletic Conference and Southern University, they've been completely transparent, upfront, open about everything. And typically, and I would imagine most of you would agree, typically, the human experience is such that we can deal with just about anything if you're honest with me and you're upfront with me. I may not like it, I may not care a whole lot for it, but at least you were honest and upfront with me about it. So I'll make whatever necessary adjustments I need to make, and I'll deal with it. It's when you try to hide stuff and you shoo-shooing and this, that, and the other, which in no way, shape, or form the SWAC or Southern has been. Well, now, Houston, we got a problem. So kudos to the SWAC and Southern for the approach that they've taken so far. And as I am fond of saying, like we say in the Black Baptist Church all the time, this too shall pass. Top of the hour break on the Clarence Buggs Show. Stay close.
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
For total home pest control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
Welcome back as we start hour 2 of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show. It is unfortunately the time of year where many of us are trying desperately in the waning days of the dog days of summer, quote unquote, to get out and recreate, enjoy Mother Nature, et cetera, et cetera. And here in the great state of Louisiana, the Bayou State, the sportsman's paradise, many times recreation involves water, watercraft, water sports, et cetera, et cetera. Don't know how many of you noticed, but we've had a couple of tragedies here in South Louisiana recently. One involving a 19-year-old, real recently, whose boat that he was in crashed into the rock jetties, and he was ejected from the boat, subsequently killed. More recently, a 14-year-old girl on a jet ski involved in a collision with another jet ski, and sadly, tragically, lost her life as well. Joining us to start hour 2 is Adam Einck, the Public Information Officer for the Enforcement Division of our very own Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. So we welcome Adam onto the show. Adam, good morning, my friend, and how are you today?
Good, Clarence. Good morning to you as well.
Thank you kindly. Let's start with the case of the 19-year-old. Can you stress enough the importance of familiarity with the waterway you're traveling on?
You can't, Clarence, especially at night, which this instance and this boating fatality occurred around 9:30 at night.
Right.
So as you know, the visibility was really low at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we just ask people when they're traveling at night to please slow down, be familiar with your surroundings, and just go at a safe speed.
And obviously when you're talking a boat, unlike a motor vehicle on a roadway, your ability to brake is severely curtailed. So you add to that speed, add to that poor visibility, and add to that diminished braking ability. All of this combined, that's a recipe for disaster, is it not?
It certainly can be, depending on how experienced you are as a boater, and especially with the area that you're traveling in. Speed, if you're ever unsure of your surroundings, just please slow down.
Sadly, we had another instance, the 14-year-old female involved in a jet ski accident and lost her life as well. Typically, for us lay people, we see folks on watercraft like jet skis, and they appear to be a lot more nimble than a regular fishing boat or boat of that magnitude. But I would have to imagine the situation is the same as far as the ability to brake. I mean, you don't have brake pads on the thing, you're not on the road, so you are still subject to the same limitations as you would be in a boat?
That's correct. Jet skis we call them personal watercrafts. As we know, those personal watercrafts have some big engines in them, and some of them can get in excess of 60, 70, 80 miles per hour on the water, so they're just kind of skipping across these waterways. And when you let off the throttle, it still takes it some time to get it to normal speed.
If I remember correct in reading the article, it was an older person. Cannot remember whether that person was a minor or not, but an older individual allowed the 14-year-old to ride the watercraft. What sort of liability issues are you looking at when you decide to let someone use your watercraft, be it boat or jet ski, and that person is a minor, Adam?
Well, in Louisiana, personal watercraft or jet skis, you got to be at least 16 years of age or older to operate one.
Okay.
And obviously, you got to wear a life jacket when you're on a personal watercraft as well.
Right.
And that wasn't an issue here. The two occupants of the jet skis were wearing life jackets. They were wearing the engine kill switch, so if they got ejected, the jet ski would stop.
Right.
But the problem is that they were both underage. You're required to be at least 16 years of age or older. And the deceased was 14, and the survivor was 15. According to the initial investigation, a 17-year-old was in charge of those jet skis and allowed the 14 and 15-year-old to operate them. So there could be pending charges. The investigation is still ongoing, but definitely the 17-year-old could face some charges here.
I cannot remember how far back it started, Adam, but I know it has been a considerable amount of time where the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries has made a concerted effort to implore, to beg, and in many cases to demand that we adhere to the rule that every single person aboard a boat or personal watercraft has to have a personal flotation device. Have we gotten better at that since your agency has started this concerted campaign, Adam?
I believe so, Clarence. We still feel like, if we get one fatality because they weren't wearing a personal flotation device, that's too many.
Right.
Obviously, that could be a little bit hard to achieve.
Uh-huh.
But if you look at historical statistics of boating fatalities in Louisiana, in the 70s, 80s, and even into the 90s, we were averaging probably 45 to 55 fatalities on the waterways a year.
Wow.
And in the last 5 to 7 years, we're probably averaging around 20.
Okay.
So we have done a good job. We can do better. But we really feel like our boating safety education program has helped bring those numbers down. If you look at 45 to 50 down to about 20, we basically have cut it in half. And statistics say that if you have a boating education program in place for more than 20 years, that's what's going to happen. So we're hoping to cut that 20 in half again and get it down into the single digits.
Right.
And our boating education program has been around since 2003. So we're 17 years in.
Right.
So we really feel like we're going to get there.
Unfortunately, we had a story on this show Monday talking about a gentleman out of Lacombe, Louisiana, that was a cab driver in Slidell and was working his final weekend before retirement, only to be hit and killed by someone suspected driving under the influence. Have we gotten better from your vantage point with the sobriety checks and the field checks that your agents make? Have we gotten better? Because, I mean, after all, it is Louisiana and, you know, hot summer, muggy times, hot temperatures, our laissez-aller, bon temps roulé attitude when it comes to alcohol. Have we gotten better in that regard as far as not imbibing when we're out boating and using our personal watercraft?
I really think we have in that aspect as well. It's not nearly the wild, wild west out there anymore. I talk to agents all the time, and they say that DWIs on the waterways are harder to find and harder to come by. Our agents are always on the lookout for anybody that's operating a vessel that's not sober.
Right.
So we're really getting the word out there. Our boating education safety program has helped in that aspect. Stricter enforcement of the DWI laws on the waterways has really helped. The agents know where the hot spots are on these waterways where you have a little bit more chance of someone operating a boat that's inebriated. And they've really have been a big presence out in those different waterways.
And for those that don't know, would you refresh our memory, Adam, as what the rules and regs state as far as operating a boat or personal watercraft while under the influence of alcohol or drugs?
Yep, it's the same rules that apply on the road. So if you get behind the wheel of a vehicle and you blow .08 or above, you're subject to a DWI. The same rules apply on the waterways. If we suspect that you're not sober, we're going to do a field sobriety test on you, much the same way you would in a vehicle. We'll then take you to an area where we can do an intoxilizer on you. And if you blow over .08, you get charged with DWI. If you refuse to give us an intoxilizer sample, then you're automatically charged with a DWI. And I'd also like to point out that the number of DWIs matters both on the waterway and on the road. So if you've already had a prior DWI driving a vehicle,
right,
and you get one on the waterway, that is now your second offense.
Wow.
Yep, and so it's the exact same penalty as if you're driving a car.
Finally, again, to refresh the memory of we lay folks, when it comes to enforcing the laws, you are not only, as a wildlife and fisheries agent, empowered by law to do that on the water, but you also have enforcement powers on land as well, correct?
That is correct. It's not something that we, it's not our main mission,
Right.
but if we happen to be driving home from a shift and we see a vehicle that's swerving on the roadway and is posing a danger to the rest of the drivers, we will pull you over. If we see someone that's in very excessive speed, again, it's going to be an issue that's a danger to the other drivers. You could get pulled over by a wildlife agent, and you could be subject to a field sobriety test and a DWI if the officer suspects that you are inebriated.
Before I let you go, Adam, I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't ask. Obviously, with COVID-19 being what it is, so many more people now rediscovering the great outdoors, connecting with nature, indulging in recreation activities out in the great outdoors and the waters in particular. Obviously, your agency has a whole lot more on its plate these days. How are the men and women in wildlife and fisheries holding up through all of this, Adam?
They're doing great. We think it's great. We encourage people to get outdoors and enjoy it. Obviously, with COVID, with this year, we've had probably more people on the waterways than we have in the recent past years. I can remember talking to agents, and they said, you know, a Tuesday and a Wednesday looks like a Saturday and a Sunday some of those days out there.
Wow.
So it's great to see, and a large majority of them are doing it in a very safe manner, which we encourage. But obviously, with more days spent on the water and more hours behind the wheel of a vessel, you're just going to have you're going to have more accidents, and you're probably going to have a spike in fatalities as well.
Yeah.
And that's something we are definitely seeing this year. The only thing I can say is that everybody, please be aware of your surroundings when you're on the waterway. Number 2, wear your life jacket when you're underway. And then number 3, if you haven't done so already, please take they're absolutely free, 100% free of charge, boating safety education course through the department.
Fantastic. He is the Public Information Officer for the Enforcement Division of the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, Adam Einck. Adam, thank you so much for the time, my friend. Welcome back, and do me a big favor and stay safe, Adam.
You too, Clarence. I appreciate your time.
You're quite welcome, sir. All right. Even though white people, good help is hard to find, even though he didn't start the clock for me, he said it, but he didn't start it. Marty, I gotta hit this first break of hour 2 out of the way. We'll do so and talk more with you on the midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right here, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Fix that clock, Marty.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonCountryClub.com.
That's right, the Clarence Bugg Show is back, along with the Exiles, Bill Profita and Kevin Gallagher. We've put the band back together, South Louisiana's talk team, and it's only on the Pelican. 10 a.m. till 12 noon, right here on the Pelican.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Welcome back to hour 2 of our midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. Woohoo! Marty started the clock. He started the clock. And it's set right, too. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate you more than I can say, my friend. It's not that I, quote, need the clock when you've been, living your life in 30 and 60-second increments for 40 years. Your internal clock knows these things. It knows, okay, you're coming up on a break. All right, getting ready to come out of commercial break. All right, getting ready to wrap up this segment, yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. I just like messing with white people any chance I get. That's all it is. That's all it is. You want fries with that 2 bugs? As we get closer and closer to what is arguably the biggest election in our country's history in recent memory, I'm going to caution many of you on where you get your news from. You've heard in recent memory, and the term has now become a part of the American lexicon, the mainstream media, comprised primarily of what I call the alphabet people in media: ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, print media, the New York, I almost said it, Times, Washington Post, USA Today. You know all of these folks. But in recent memory, the loss or the lack of objectivity has become more glaring than ever. It's a sad commentary in this country that individuals that claim to be journalists either don't care, don't know, or don't trust the intelligence of average Americans. It has gotten to the point where there's even a phrase coined now, TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. It has gotten so bad among members of the media these days that they either cannot see their own bias, or they simply don't care about their bias, or they figure, y'all too stupid, you can't see it. Example. Yesterday, run across this article that is headlined, "Trump to Pardon Women's Suffrage Leader Susan Anthony." Now, first of all, and I posed this question to Marty during the last commercial break, what does your gut tell you? With the exception of the greatest generation, I'm a boomer, so that would be our parents' generation. What percentage of our fellow Americans, if you walked up to randomly today and asked them, what was the women's suffrage movement? What percentage do you think could give you an intelligent answer? Marty said, maybe 10%. Women's suffrage movement. That's what women were suffering because they had too much work, right? They suffered because men were holding them down. Y'all men had your foot on our necks and we were suffering. This article, entitled, "Trump to Pardon Women's Suffrage Leader Susan Anthony." I should have known to do this firsthand, because unfortunately, you have to do that these days. I should have looked to see if the author of this story cared enough, was proud enough, and was assured enough that what they were presenting as a news story and facts, if they cared enough and believed enough in it to put their name on it. And of course, as I got maybe 2 sentences into the article, I said to myself, whoa, this has got to be AP. This has got to be the Associated Press. I wonder which one of their writers. So I look, not a name to be found. August 16, 2020, it's categorized as news. Source, Associated Press. By Associated Press. There is a reason, y'all. I've never had to do this before, so I'm hoping I can pull it off the right way. There is a reason. You see this over here? Right here? My name. There's a reason I put my name every single day on what I do. When in radio, all these many years in talk, it was always the Clarence Bugs Show. It was never Midday Baton Rouge. It was never Let's Talk Louisiana. It was never Bayou Boy Wants to Talk. No, it was, it is now, and it always will be the Clarence Bugs Show. Why? Because I believe in what I say. Because I will present to you the facts and allow you to make up your own mind. I will research thoroughly before I come to you and present something to you, because I respect your intelligence. My past pastor, recently retired, would always tell us, the congregation, now look, I'm going to preach this sermon. I'm going to give you, as we go through the sermon, I'm going to give you scriptural references. Okay, I'm going to say, the reason I say this is what I'm saying, and why I feel God believes this, is because this is what he said in Matthew chapter whatever, verse whatever, through verse whatever. But then he would say, don't take my word for it. Go home and read it for yourselves. Don't take that what I'm telling you is true. Go home and read it for yourself to be sure that what I'm telling you is correct. I don't ever want y'all to have to say, I heard on Midday Baton Rouge a guy say such and such, such and such. Y'all, it's on the Clarence Bugs Show. Because number one, I ain't gonna lie to you. Number two, I've researched it thoroughly. Number three, I believe in what I'm saying. So much so that I'm willing to put my name on it. See, the internet, chat rooms, message boards, allows a lot of people to become keyboard warriors. You ain't got the guts to put your name on it, but you'll come up with some snazzy handle, okay, trying to remain anonymous while you try to BS people. The internet has allowed people like this to flourish. Now, here's the problem that I have with this article from the AP, by the AP. The article starts in the very first sentence with this: as he works to curry favor with women voters, President Donald Trump said Tuesday that he will pardon Susan B. Anthony, a women's suffrage leader arrested for voting in 1872 in violation of laws permitting only men to vote. The very first words, as he works to curry favor with women voters. Now, let's understand something here. Unless you present some facts to me, that's your opinion. Now, if you want to present to me your opinion, I don't have a problem with that. Put it in the op-ed section. For those of y'all that don't know, op-ed is opinion / editorial. First two words, first two letters of each word. An opinion and an editorial. This is what I feel This is what I think about whatever the topic happens to be. But you specifically, AP, Associated Press, you specifically put it under the category of news. But the first thing you do is give me what you think, what you feel, your opinion. And apparently you think I'm too stupid. My reading comprehension is not to the level where I can pick this up and discern it for myself. You know how you can tell when folks are trying to pull the proverbial wool over your eyes? This article, entitled "Trump to Pardon Women's Suffrage Leader Susan Anthony," it starts out the way it does with opinion, and then it doesn't say anything about Susan Anthony until the 10th paragraph of the story. Everything else, the 9 paragraphs of the story, a couple of them pretty lengthy, all talk about, well, Trump's support among white suburban women has been failing. They talk about how mail-in voting, so many people are against that. What in God's name does this have to do with the man pardoning Susan B. Anthony? But if you've got an agenda, well, that's a different story. Now we can open the door to print just about anything. And again, for the record, I don't have a problem with you printing whatever you think. I mean, I'm blessed to have a platform to say whatever I think, whatever I feel. But I don't present it to you as news as the AP is attempting to do. Newsflash, AP. A lot of us have reading comprehension, and we see you for what you are. Guys, girls, nowadays more than ever, be careful where you get your news from. And for God's sake, I don't care who it is, whether it's ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSLSD, USA Today, or Fox. Don't take their word as gospel. Find out what they say, and then look at what the other side says. You might be amazed at the difference between the two. But more important, you will learn to think for yourself. Now that I think about it, maybe, just maybe, that's what they're afraid of, that you'll learn to think for yourself. Little something to make you go, Bottom of the hour break. I'm a tad late. Let me bang this out. We'll come back and talk more with you, right where you've got it, on the midweek edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, here and only on the Pelican. Stay close.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bug Man, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvant.
Call the Bug Man today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Exiles from what you ask, exiled from the radio. But now we're on your television.
I'm Bill Profita, he's Kevin Gallagher, and they kicked us to the curb.
But we're back.
We are back with Exiles Television on the Pelican Broadcasting Network. We're going to bring you the newsmakers. We're also going to take your calls and give you great information. It's going to be the best damn radio show on television.
Look for it on your cable system or download the app, PelicanSportsTV.com.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people.
You can know the right people too.
Welcome back as we roll on through hour 2 of the midweek edition of the Clarence Bug Show. This time, Marty set the clock, started the clock, didn't tell me what camera to go to. I think what I'll start doing is I'm just going to start like doing it cross-eyed, and that way I'm never wrong, right? I'm never wrong that way. If I just, do the cross-eyed thing, and I can still hear my mother today. God bless her soul. Boy, your eyes gonna get stuck like that. You better stop doing that. That would be interesting to know of the things that black people and white people have in common. How many of our parents told us, boy, stop doing that. Your eyes gonna get stuck like that. If in laughing at that and cherishing those moments, it would do the nation that I love so very much, probably so much good to get away from all the lunacy and bring us back to the reality that at the end of the day, despite what this idiot professor in San Francisco would have us believe, despite what the likes of AOC and the social justice warriors and all these other people would like us to believe, we've got a lot more in common than we do the things that separate us. And at the end of the day, when you find, and it's just a natural part of the human experience, you find that we tend to gravitate as individual groups toward certain things. We gravitate toward people that look like we do. We gravitate toward people that speak and act the way we do. And we gravitate toward people that we share common experiences with. Someone that grew up with life experience A typically has a hard time relating to a person that grew up with life experience B. That's just a part of the human experience. That's just how things work. Every now and then, if we are forced to, we find ourselves intertwined with individuals that we don't share common experiences with. In the workplace, for example, you get a job, you don't know the folks that work there. You start working there and find out, man, I don't really have a whole lot in common with these folks. Their life experiences are so different from mine. But if you're fortunate enough to have a good work ethic, and you stay at that job, typically at some point in time, you're going to make some friends. And you'll find out, that person's not really so bad after all. Listen, I used to doubt the truthfulness of the old adage that you catch more flies with honey than you do vinegar. I worked with a woman many, many years ago. And me being me, I'm a South Louisiana boy. I speak to people. I was taught at an early age, when you go to work, when you come home, when you go to a social setting, whatever, when you walk in, you speak to people. How you doing? Good morning. Good day. You know, it's the South Louisiana thing to do. That's who we are. That's what we do. You don't have to know them to say good morning. How much effort does that take? Well, this woman, God bless her, every morning I would speak. Good morning, how you doing? If she would answer at all, was what I'd get. And after a week or two of this, I said to myself, all right, self say, huh? Why are you wasting your time speaking to this person when it should be clear after 2 weeks of you speaking to her every morning and she don't say a peep? If she does say something, it's, why are you wasting your time with this? And I said to myself, well, self, it's the right thing to do. That's why you do it. You don't do it to have her answer. You do it because it's the right thing to do, and that's who you are. So after having this conversation with myself, I just continued on doing it every morning. Good morning, how you doing this morning? Today, we are the best of friends. Let me tell y'all something. Water and rock. One, water, is as soft as you will ever find. And woo, here in Baton Rouge, our water's so soft. God, I love the water here in Baton Rouge. It ain't like the water y'all got in New Orleans. You can hit somebody in the head with water in New Orleans, just water, and hurt them. Our water is soft. A rock, conversely, is hard as all get out. But that water, one drop at a time, if it drips, 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 over time, it'll wear a hole in that rock. So that little, good morning, how you doing? Every morning, good morning, how you doing? Next day, good morning, see you over there, how you doing? I wore a hole in that rock, y'all. I wore that rock down. And I guess at some point she may have said, let me answer this fool so he'll just stop this coming in here all bright-eyed and cheery every morning with this good morning. Let me just answer this fool so he'll shut up. Now when I see her, she can't wait to run to meet me. Tell me all her business. That woman now tell me all her business. I know all her family and everybody. Why? Because I did the right thing. And I refused to let her initial response deter me from doing the right thing. And at the end of the day, let's say for the sake of the conversation, she never changed. Let's say I worked with this person for 20 years, and every morning I spoke, good morning, Miss so-and-so, how you doing? Good morning, how you doing? I ain't say a word. Let's say that happened for 20 years. At the end of the day, I would not have gained a friend, But if nothing else, I would have had 20 years on my ledger of doing the right thing. When all is said and done, y'all, we can't control other people. Only one you control is you. And if nothing else, you deserve to be able to say, at the end of the journey, if nothing else, at least I did the right thing. And lest we forget, there are a couple of generations that are watching us. And they will learn how every morning to walk into a room where people already are and say, good morning, how y'all doing? Because it's the right thing to do. There are a couple of generations now, going on 3, that may not tell you, but they're watching. See, God had a plan in his infinite wisdom. And that's why the first group, the first institution ordained by God was the family. Why? Well, Clarence, I know the answer to that one is to be fruitful and multiply. Well, you'd be partially right. But that institution was ordained so that male children could watch their father and learn what it means to be a good husband, what it means to be a good father. That institution was ordained so that female children could learn what it means to be a good mother by watching their mother, what it means to be a good wife by watching their mom, how she interacted with her dad, her husband. There is a method to it. Of course, now, maybe that's why some factions in this country have fought so hard to destroy the traditional family. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later. That's okay, as long as at some point you get it. And if nothing else, ask yourself, how desperately do we need real mothers and fathers and families today? A little another nugget to make you go, Final break of today's show. Don't forget, guys, girls, tomorrow, as you've seen the promo, the Exiles, my dear friends, Kevin Gallagher, Bill Profita, same bat time, same bat set, same bat channel. Be sure to check them out. I would consider it a personal favor if you would. Final break of hour 2 for the midweek edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. We come back, put a big old bow on this puppy, and wrap it all up. That's next here on the Pelican. Stay close.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Mask help us slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to the final segment. Yeah. Left camera, all right. Yeah. Yeah. For the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, I won't be back with you, obviously, until Monday. And there's something that I desperately wanted to cover before we got out of here today. Obviously, with the Democrat National Convention going on right now, you are going to hear a lot of folks pontificating about a lot of stuff. I would consider it a personal favor if you would adopt something for me. As we enter into the height of political season, you're going to hear people say a whole lot of things. When they finish, ask them, if you would, what is your plan to? And you fill in the blank with whatever your issue is. For the last two nights, and it will certainly be ramped up tonight, you've heard over and over, Trump bad. Orange man bad. Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump bad. Word for the politicians. Please do not insult me by spending all of your time telling me why I should not vote for your opponent. Spend your time telling me why I should vote for you. You know, hundreds of thousands of inner city black kids are trapped in failing schools. What is your plan to fix that? Well, Trump bad. Yeah, I know, but black people have the lowest earning potential of any ethnic group in this country. What's your plan to fix that? Well, Trump bad. Yeah, I know, but we have, you know, this huge racial divide in our country. What's your plan to heal this wound? Trump bad. Yeah, I know, but the leading cause of death among African American males 15 to 39 years of age, is homicide at the hands of another young black male. What's your plan to fix that? Trump racist? Well, that might be true, but under his watch, more black people have had jobs than any other time in history, and as a president, he's given more money to HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, for white people that don't know the acronym. He's given more money to HBCUs than any other president. How do you explain that? Trump tweet. Don't insult me by spending all your time telling me why I should not vote for your opponent. Spend your time telling me why I should vote for you. We in this country have embraced negativity to the point where, for many of us, you don't have to tell us your plan to move this country forward. You don't have to tell us what you're going to do to improve the quality of life for people living in this country, all you have to do is tell me him bad. Have we fallen that low in this country? That's rhetorical. Doesn't require an answer. That question was purely rhetorical, does not require an answer, because y'all already know. I beseech you, brethren, from this day forth, for this political season and every subsequent one thereafter, let these folks know that they are insulting you when all they do is spend their time telling you why you shouldn't vote for someone else. Tell me why I should vote for you. Of course, now, the byproduct of that means they're going to have a plan. Not only do they have to have a plan, then they're going to have to tell you how they're going to pay for said plan. And then they're going to have to tell you how they're going to get folks to buy into the plan. Now that I think about it, maybe that's why they don't go there to begin with. Just saying. Just saying. Like I said earlier, some people would rather have a grievance than a job. Don't spend your time telling me why I shouldn't vote for the opposition. Tell me your plan. Tell me the benefits. Tell me who's going to pay for it. Tell me how it's going to make my life better and why I should vote for you, instead of spending all your time telling me why I shouldn't vote for the other guy. Especially when for 8 years you ran everything and nothing got better for people that look like me. Boom. Boom. If this wasn't hooked on, I'd drop the mic and walk off the stage. But it is what it is. And my time's up anyway. I gotta go. But guys, girls, this day more than any other, thank you for proving me that I'm right when I say America is not perfect. But doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, I hope you know he loves you, and I hope you know that I do too. Either way, ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. See you Monday. God bless.